All right, we're back testing some levels here. We're seeing how the levels held up today. So we talked about trading this right here. All right, and so I asked you guys, would you guys trade this? And what did you guys say? Would you guys trade this?
No.
Why not?
It's choppy and it's gonna go up and down and up and down, and you wouldn't really make much money out of this.
Really? You're absolutely right. This is choppy. This is indecision, right? Say indecision.
Indecision.
Indecision is when the buyers and sellers can't make up their mind. They want to go up, they want to go down, they want to go up, they want to go down, they're not really sure. So the best thing for you to do is to wait for them to make up their mind. Now the question is, how do you do that? Right? How do you do that? How do you know when to get into a trade after all of this? All right. Now, do you guys have any ideas?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, one way what you can do is you can look at the lowest low here, right? That's one way you can do, right? The lowest low. You see this lowest low here?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right around here? All right. We're going to look to see where around what level that dropped to, right here, right? Now what we can do is we can wait for price to break down below that level and then come up and retest it as resistance, and then we can get into a trade.
Oh.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's one way that we can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one way. All right. Let's see here. Well, but it can go both ways. It can go up this way, or we can go down this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things we can also do, all right, we can draw a box around it. All right, we can draw a box around it. All right, and a good friend taught me this over at a Discord called Trading Decoded. We can go ahead and draw a box around this, which is really cool. Let's see here. What is this called? What does it say? Orange box? Boom. Okay. We'll just call it orange, right? We can draw an orange box around it. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And now what we can do is we can wait for price to break out of this box. Once price breaks out of this box, then we know, okay, cool. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that door is closed, right? You see that? Once it breaks out over here, right? It comes out, we want to make sure. So it's like, imagine this right here is that there's a rat in the house. And the rat is running all over the house, okay? And then you finally open the door and it gets out. And then what are you going to do when it gets out?
Shut the door.
You're going to shut the door, right? And then it's going to try to get in, but it can't stay in. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
It can't stay in. You see that?
Yes.
All right. And so that's one way, okay? Another way of being able to tell, we can do what's called tracking the trend. Trend tracking. Say trend tracking.
Trend tracking.
And what trend tracking is you find another low, right? Another low trough here, and you draw a trend line connecting it to the other low right there. See that? How I'm connecting these two lows?
Yes.
Over here and over here?
Yes.
All right, these two lows. Let's get some, here's one low over here, and here's another low over here. All right, you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Now this is actually a line I drew today, and watch. I didn't trade too much. I didn't really trade at all today, but nevertheless, on days like this, when they have news like this, I've learned not to trade. I've learned not to trade, even though I really wanted to get into this, but I didn't know how this was gonna turn out. But it got really weak, got really bad. But let's keep watching here, right? So we got these two peaks here, these two troughs. I'm sorry. All right, and you notice we came down, but did we close? Did the candle close?
No.
No.
All right, let's talk about candle closes. All right, a candle, we know where candles open, right?
Yes.
Like this green candle, we know that it opened over here, it went down and then went up, came down, and it closed right here, right? You see that?
Yes.
Right? This candle over here, right? It opened over here and went down, came up, and then closed right here.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yes.
Okay. So, did this candle close below the trend line?
No.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm
It
sure.
came down here,
That's just
then
the
came
wick.
up here, and then came back here.
Okay, good. Exactly. So it closed right here. You can look. So this is called the body of the candle, and this is called the wick of the candle, or the tail, right?
Yes.
And so the closes are always going to be on the body. On the red candle, the closes are going to be down here. On the green candle, the closes are going to be up here, right? So did we get a close over here below the trend line?
No.
No. Did we get a close over here below the trend line?
No.
What about this candle? Did we get a close below the trend line here?
Nope.
No.
And you can see like it was making sure it didn't close down below the trend line. You see that?
Yes.
How the body stayed above the trend line?
Yes.
But look at this. We had a body break. Did we get a close below the trend line?
Yes.
Yes. There's our first sign of weakness. Our first sign of weakness. Not only did it break down below the trend line, but it also broke out of our orange box. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. It also broke out of our orange box. And so that's 2 signs of weakness, okay? Let's see if we can find a third. All right. Can anybody tell me what's a third sign of weakness?
Resistance.
Resistance? Very good. Resistance of what level?
The box.
This level? The box? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the box.
That's right. All 3 of them. The trend line. See resistance of the trend line here?
Yes.
Resistance of the box here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Resistance of the level here?
Yes.
We got resistance. Look like, even better, what you can do is, you see where my mouse is right here?
Yes.
We are failing to do what above this line?
Get past.
Make it a support.
What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? You're right, but there's a specific word. Remember over here, we were failing to close below the trend line. I said the word right there. We're failing to what? Close. You see this? We're failing to close beyond this level. So you see this? Whenever you see a pattern like this, right? You can, now you have all of these signs of weaknesses letting you know it's okay to get into a what?
Put.
A put in this situation here, right? And so you see, so we went up, we came down, close. All right? We went down, we came back up, close, right? So we're having a hard time closing here. Now, if this candle wasn't here, this would also show that we're having a hard time closing below this mark too. All right? So if that's the case, then this, one thing that we want to do is we come all the way up here and we still can't get above the trend line. Then 9 times out of 10, we're going to move down. Now this is a trend line secret. You ready for a trend line secret?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, here's a trend line secret. All right, one of the trend line secrets are trend lines are very strong diagonal support and resistance. They're very strong. So when they do break down, it's very difficult to get back above it. But if it does get back above it, that means that there is what? Weakness or strength?
Strength.
Strength. That means it's very strong to get back above it. You understand?
Yes.
But usually, when we break down below it, it's very strong. So typically when we see trend line breaks, it will break down below it, come back up, and retest the trend line before continuing down. You see that?
Yes.
Yes.
If a bar is above the box, is that meaning it's going up? Then if it's using the box as support, if candles are using the box as support, is it gonna go up?
So we drew the box. The box is not necessarily something for the price to use support or resistance on. The box is for us to know whether we're going to be strong or whether we're going to be weak. Whether we're going to break out above it or whether we're going to break out below it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So cool. And you can see that we had a trend line break. So our first signs of weakness, oops. Let me write this with something a little bit thicker here. Sign of weakness. All right, what's my first sign of weakness?
This one where it goes under.
Huh?
Where
This one right here?
yeah, where it breaks below the trend line.
All right, a trend line break, right? We had a trend line, but we had a trend line break here, trend line break here. and a trend line break here.
Only if it closes below the trend
Yeah.
line.
Oh, okay, so
closing
a close below the trend line. Okay. Okay, so that's cool. Close below the trend line. What's the second sign of weakness?
The retest,
The retest of what?
this green candle, where it tries to come back up.
Okay, retest of the trend line.
Yeah.
Okay, retest of the trend line. All right, and what's the third sign of weakness?
Resistance
Resistance where?
of the box.
on the box.
Here?
Yeah.
Well,
On
here's
the box and there. And
here.
there. Yeah.
Okay, so just all of this resistance here.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And it closed outside of the box.
And it closed. Okay, outside of the box. Okay. So resistance and a close outside the box. This is good that you guys are able to see this, and it's one thing looking at this when all the bars are there. It's another thing looking at it as the bars are actually printing, like live. You understand?
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna go to a random day, and we're gonna see if we can use these methods that we just learned right now to tell if whether we're weak or we're strong. Okay. All right. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. I'm gonna go to a random day. Close your eyes. Going to a random day. All right, hold on. All right, you guys can open your eyes now. Okay. All right, so we're looking at the chart here. I'm gonna go ahead and press play. Is there anything I should do right now, or should we just watch?
We should plot some trend lines.
Trend lines? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna zoom out over here. Okay. Plot some trend lines. Any ideas on how I can draw a trend line?
Yeah, you start from the lowest.
Lowest here?
Around here.
Yes.
Around here, and then
Drag
they
it
could
up
hit
to the
this.
current lowest.
So from here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
the
to
current-
here?
To here.
Yeah.
To here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we got touch number 1, touch number 2. All right, should we extend it a little bit?
Yeah.
Since price is going to be going up that? Okay, cool.
Maybe a little bit down here though, because this is real.
Move the
high
trend
up.
line up.
No, move it down a level, about a level.
What do you mean
I
down a
think, no,
little?
it's fine like that. Rish is fine like that.
It's supposed to touch. The
Yeah.
thing about trend lines, it's supposed to touch, right? Touch, touch. You got that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and press play. We're on the 5 minute. Big move up. All right, you guys can tell me whether or not, do you guys have any setups in mind?
Setup.
Like a setup like when this happens, I'm going to get into a call, or when this happens, I'm going to get into a put.
I think once it hits the trend
Once
line,
it hits the trend line,
and
call.
if it once it
Hold
hits
on,
the
one
trend
person at a time. One person at a time. All right, go ahead, Kay.
if it hits the trend line, I'm gonna go for a call.
Okay, what about you, Rish?
If I have a sign of multiple hits on the trend line or the level right next to it, I would probably go for a call.
Okay, Luke, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, and if it breaks below it, I get into a put and keeps resisting the trend line.
Okay, P, any thoughts on the setup? If you don't know, you can say it's unclear. It's fine.
It's unclear.
Okay, no problem. All right, we'll go ahead and play. All right. Looks like we're moving. Okay, looks like it's reacting to this level.
Whoa.
All right, yeah, looks like it's pumping.
Okay.
It's pumping. Anybody have any ideas on any plays here? You guys have any ideas for any setups?
Go ahead.
Or you
and
just
get
keep
it.
watching? What do you say? What do you say, Kay?
Never mind.
Okay, I'm gonna pause right here. Is there anything I should do right now?
Make a trend line
Going.
here.
Okay, trend line
And then
from here. What am I doing?
Touch
Where are my connection points? Where should it touch?
here.
Here. Okay, like this.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
just go straight up.
Like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Any setups? You guys have any setups in mind?
If it touches that trend line,
Mm-hmm.
I go for a call. If it breaks below the trend line, I go for a foot.
But if it is gonna have to touch the trend line,
Yeah, it
Mhm.
always.
either way.
Only if it. Yeah. Yes.
yes. What? I need to know what your setup is.
If the trend line goes as a support, I want to go for a call.
Okay. All right.
I'm seeing that it's hitting this level.
Mhm.
It's starting to hit this level a lot more, so I'd probably get it to a put right now. And we do see a red candle coming here.
All right. So you're in a put right now.
Yeah, I'd probably go for a put right now.
Either yes or no. You were in a put or you're not.
Yes.
All right. Reese is in a put. Okay. Reese is in a put. Anybody else have any setups? Any trades in mind?
I would go for a put and write it down to the trend line.
Okay. You go for a put and write it down to the trend line. All right. Let's see what happens. Reese, you still in your trade? Let me know when you're getting out your trade.
That would have not been.
You still in your trade, Reese?
No, I get out.
You're out? Okay. All right.
I should have gotten out right here when it was at that last.
When it hit the level, right?
Yeah,
From
when-
level to level.
right
Mhm.
there, I should have gotten out. Well, I'm back down.
Any thoughts on any setups? Reese, you already have one losing trade. Any thoughts on any setups?
Call.
All right, right here, right? Right here, you said a call. Anybody else? Any thoughts?
I'm gonna.
No.
I would also go for a call here.
You can say unclear if you want to.
Unclear.
Call.
Call?
I would do a put.
You do a put here?
Your phone's ringing.
Huh?
Your phone's ringing.
Give it to me. Is there a reason? Tell me why you would get into a put or
If it
If it touches the trend line
if it
again,
breaks below
yeah,
the
if
trend
it breaks
line.
Hey,
below
babe,
the
I'm coming.
trend line. If it breaks below.
Bye-bye.
If
Sorry, mommy said dinner's ready.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Say that again.
If it breaks below the trend line,
Then you definitely got into a call.
and then
You get it. Wait, hold on. Prosperite. You first. Go ahead.
if it breaks below the trend line,
Mm-hmm.
and then it can't get back up past that, then I would do a put.
And if I see
Okay, so put if it breaks below the trend line and retests it.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else?
for me, if it breaks below the trend line and hits this level and doesn't bounce back up, then I would go for a put. But if it does come up and it tries going back down and uses this as support a few times, I would go for a call. Yeah.
Okay, what
if
about
it
you?
uses the trend line as support a few more times, then I'd go for a call.
Okay, all right. Luke's?
Could you draw a trend line coming down from here, from this tallest wick?
Okay, here,
Yep.
like this.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Okay. If it breaks above this trend line and then retests it, I would get into a call.
Okay, if it breaks above this trend line,
Yes.
you get into a call.
Yeah. Only up to this level though.
Up to this level.
Yes.
Okay, so you get in up to this level. Prosperite, if it breaks down below, you're waiting for a close, or if it just breaks?
Close.
Close. Okay, you're waiting for a close. Luke's, you waiting for a close, or if it just breaks?
Close.
All right, let's see what happens. All right. Is anybody in a play right now? Call it if you are.
I need to see if that. Put.
Put. All right. Reese is in a put.
Put.
Okay, everybody's in a put except Luke's. Let me know when you get out. Let me know when you get out.
Whoa. Out. I'm done.
Okay, you're out. You lost money on that one.
Out.
Okay.
Out.
Okay, you broke even on that one.
Out.
All right. P, you lost money on that one. Luke, you still watching?
Get back in.
Yeah.
Get back in.
Yes.
Oh man, I could have held on a little longer.
You could have held on.
Yeah, I could have. Now it's coming back up.
We'll test that. I would have gotten out there if I held out longer.
Yeah, I'll go for it now. Isn't this what happened yesterday?
Seriously.
Look, can you guess where we're going?
Down
Down
to
the
that.
trend line.
Wow,
Down
you
to
see
the
that?
trend line.
Look
Oh,
at that.
yeah.
Look at that.
Oh wow.
Look at
And
that.
then-
And what we end up doing there after, look
Closing
at
below
that.
the trend line.
Look at that.
We close below the trend line, so
Look at that.
it's a high chance that we're going below it. Would have
All
gone
right.
out right at this candle.
So I'm gonna pause right here, right? Let's just review what happened here, okay? You guys asked for me to draw a trend line. I drew it. That was a great call. Okay, I drew the trend line. Okay, now price came over here. It was struggling to get higher. Luke's, you asked me to draw a trend line coming down across here. I drew that trend line. We came up here. We closed, and then we opened up another candle, and then dropped back below. But watch this. What happened when we come back up here? What is this called?
Resistance.
What's resistance?
The trend line?
The
trend line.
The trend line, Anything else?
And that level?
The level. You have two forms of resistance here, right? Trend line and the level. So that's where I tell you about setups. You want to plan your trades, right? You said if it breaks down below and it comes up here and retests and then drop, which it did. Now watch this. These are called micro flags. Watch this. Flag break.
Oh.
Micro flags. Okay. Flag break. And then we continue down from there.
I
Do
recognize.
you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize. As soon as we hit this trend line, we just went down.
Mm-hmm.
We just
And
kept
then
going down.
we went below that trend line, closed, came up and retested it, and it didn't go through.
So if you would have held for all of this, you probably would have made like 200, 300%. Okay. You would have doubled or tripled your money very easily if you would have held. But you would have to know where to get out. You could see we had our trend lines drawn. You know, when we start getting weak, where did we go? We went to the trend line, right? We went to the trend line.
We also have resistance right here at the end. Too.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning
And
it's
so
probably gonna-
you have your trend lines. Those are your levels to get out or get in, or you even have your levels where you can get out and get in. You understand?
Yes.
Now, every day doesn't move like this, but this is just an example showing you just practicing to be able to look at price action to understand what's going on. Is it getting weak? Is it getting strong? And to be able to know what's happening. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. But we talked about signs of weakness today. And one sign of weakness is we talked about closing below the trend line, right? Okay. Next thing is once it closes below the trend line, it comes back up and retests. Sometimes it can't even reach there. You see that? You see that? It can't even reach there sometimes, right? And so sometimes the best thing to do is just to get the break. Like as it's breaking, it's an aggressive way to get in. As it's breaking, you hop right into the trade, right? Because now if it breaks down below the trend line, remember what I said? If it breaks down below the trend line, is it easy to get back up?
No.
It's very difficult to. Now, I'm not saying that it never happens, but it was very difficult to get back up, right? And so, all right, so we broke down below this trend line. That's weakness sign number 1. Weakness sign number 2 is it retested this, couldn't get above this. Weakness sign number 2, all right? And then after that, it broke down below this micro flag here, all right?
And it closed.
Weakness sign number 3. Yes, that's right. And so if it broke down below all of this, boom, we did the same thing again. Flag, and then drop down again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So you have signs of weakness. You have signs that will let you know it's time to get into a trade. And a trend line break is one sign, but sometimes it's not enough. We have levels to let us know we had a trend line break. We had resistance over here. All right. And we had a close below the trend line in multiple places, even all the way down here. All right.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Tell me what you guys learned today. One person at a time. Just one thing that stood out to you. Go ahead, Rish.
One thing that stood
Speak
out
up so I can hear you.
One thing that stood out to me is the trend lines and how it connects to each point, and it can show to go to a call or a put if you have a method in mind.
Okay, very good.
Can I tell you what stood out to me?
Mm-hmm.
That if it closes below the trend line, it's a very small chance that it will actually go over. So if it closes below the trend line, you would probably know to get into a put.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anybody else?
Something that stood out to me is how you can find signs of weakness. It's not just guessing. You can find signs with the trend lines and the key levels.
Mm-hmm.
And if you understand that, then you know what you're doing.
Exactly. If you understand that, then you know what you're doing. You guys are going to make me a lot of money. All right.